Hey, I'm Ben from AuthenTech, and this is the new-ish OnePlus 5T. They updated it with a killer new screen, slim bezels, a rear fingerprint scanner, and a few other cool new features. But today we're checking out the camera and comparing it to the older model, the OnePlus 5. We're gonna cover photos, 4K video, stabilization, slow motion, selfie cam, and of course, low light shots at the end. Now they both have dual lenses, but this new 5T secondary lens, this is not a telephoto lens like the previous gen. Instead, they swapped it out for something that's supposedly better for those low light shots. I'm not sure if it was worth it. Stay tuned and you'll see why. Now let's first start with some daytime photo and video side-by-side comparisons. Here are some of my first impressions. They often both have the same look to the image, just more subtle differences here and there. The old 5 has a wider angle field of view over a slightly tighter shot on the 5T. As you might know, I usually prefer that wider angle. When we zoom way in, sometimes the older 5 actually looks to have a higher sharpness and more clarity to the finer details. That newer 5T can actually look pretty smudgy and kind of soft, pretty disappointing. Though, weirdly enough, this is not always the case. Sometimes they switch roles. As for colors, contrast, and dynamic range, they both look pretty similar most of the time. Now, just for fun, I compared the two portrait mode depth effects, and the new 5T doesn't have that telephoto lens, so it's gonna be a wider angle perspective. Could be a good or bad thing. Interestingly though, it seems the 5T has a more harsher blur, while the old 5 has a more gradual depth effect. Here's a 4K video stabilization test. Both cameras support electronic image stabilization. I had both cameras on a selfie stick, outstretched, and chasing my buddy Nick on that new Zoom electric scooter. They're both doing a fantastic job of smoothing out the footage, especially if you think since it's only using EIS. I might have to give them a tie on this one. What do you think? If I freeze frame and zoom in, you should notice a consistent theme though. That new 5T is often missing the mark for focus and or having a more soft image. Jumping to a mode I love to experiment with is slow motion. Now they both record 120 frames per second at 720p. Not great compared to other phones out there. This is one area the new 5T looks to have better quality over the old 5, and just as important, a much wider angle as that old 5 crops in pretty tight. And this is a front-facing selfie cam test of the OnePlus 5T and the old OnePlus 5. Now how's audio sound between the two? Audio test 1, 2, 3, 4. Audio test 1, 2, 3, 4. How's image quality and clarity and sharpness? What about image stabilization on the front-facing cam? And lastly, here's a front-facing selfie photo comparison shot. And last but definitely not least, here's some low-light photo and video shots. OnePlus says their new 5T has been equipped with, quote, intelligent pixel technology, merging 4 pixels into 1 when the ambient light is lower than 10 lux. It reduces noise in low light conditions and enhanced clarity. Yeah, okay, so sometimes it produced a more crisp and clear image, and sometimes it maintained more shadow details, but it still often has a lot of noise and grain, both in photos and video. And honestly, I was expecting a camera that devotes an entire second camera lens just for low light. It's still kind of poopy. That's pretty disappointing again. This thing should be seen in the dark or something. Okay, so there you have it, a fun and interesting side-by-side camera comparison test of the newer OnePlus 5T versus the old 5. Which one do you guys think is the winner? Also, feel free to share this video with any of your friends that you know has a OnePlus or is maybe thinking about getting one. Overall, it is a good budget phone. Now, huge thanks to Gearbest for sending me the sample unit, and thank you guys for watching. If you're new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button for more camera tests and tech videos like this posted every week. Until next time, let's live AuthenTech.